felt like this again. Fools like me never win. Came to my knees again. Can't close the door on me like we would. Things might be just as good. I always believe they would. Gotta let your love invite me. Baby, do you think it might be? No, you don't, but I do. But I do. And I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue.
Well, folks, that is past the point of rescue. That's how I'm feeling today. It's been a hectic few weeks out there, and if anybody's any advice on where to go and hide some weekend and do maybe a detox session away at 660 25,000, I need somewhere to escape to. Listen, folks, we're going to keep the football conversation going here. We're going to speak now, as I say, with Daniel McCauley. Have we got Daniel on there, Joe? Daniel, are you hearing us?
I can hear you, Brendan, yeah.
Fair play to you, Daniel. How's things? So you're we were living similar lives up until we got dumped out of it by Curran, like, but yous are still on the run. Yous are still punching for Donegal and flying the flag. It's been I would say it's been an unbelievable couple of months for yous.
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant, Brendan. All things considered, like, we've had our ballers this year and our troubles and tragedies, but this last few weeks have been absolutely brilliant, you know.
Yeah, it's been an emotional time for the club, of course, Daniel, and this amazing tribute in the county final as well, and just, I suppose, such an emotional setting to the game. But you know, your lads and everybody involved with the club must have been so proud of everyone that put their effort in that day, and what it meant to everyone involved in the Muff club.
Oh, definitely, Brendan. Believe it or not, I actually took the pressure off us, Brendan, because the boys realised there was so much more to life than football. So they went out and just done their best for Evan and on the day, and it was a brilliant tribute from start to finish, you know, and with a great result.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. You know, really impressed with you that day, Daniel. You know, me, myself and Padraig were covering the game, and just, you know, your fitness and your the way the team was shaped and set up. There was just such a real confidence about you, and you know, the way even your zones were set up in the pitch. You know, it was real. You really commanded the match. Just the season that led into it, because there are a lot of question marks about league football here, but certainly you operate in Division 2, some of the games that you won must have given you huge confidence going into the Junior Championship. You looked like a team that was playing a level below where the team was at.
Aye, definitely, Brendan. We treated the league very serious this year because we put a big effort in. We wanted to stay in Division 2. We didn't want to be one-hit wonders and go up and come straight back down. So we put a lot of effort in. From the 20th of November, we started back last year, and Martin Mealy, give him his credit, it's the boys in fine physical shape. Like, you know, we put plans in for everybody, and we've quite a few away from home. So like they get their workouts done, and they keep training when they're away from home. And then we come back at the weekends to us, and with Dougie on board there now too, we put all our heads together and we got our shape set up perfect all year, Brendan. We had a great defensive record in the league, and I know people say, look, it's only league football, but no, we treated it very, very seriously because we knew the championship was down the line, and if we could get ourselves to a certain level of fitness and a level of performance come the championship, it's not a step down going to Junior A, but it would be easier to transition, you know.
And you mentioned Dougie there, Dan. I've noticed there, like, being in my unions this year, you know, initially there was three of us, and then Dalta Malloy, a good friend of mine, and he wanted to come in and, you know, kind of learn and see what it was like on that side of things. I find that you look at All Ireland winners, for example, the way Armagh kept adding to their team, you know, but adding real quality. I think in the modern game there's so much going on now, Daniel, in terms of structures and, you know, even the nightly training and that. It seems like you can't have enough men in there. You know, I mean, obviously you want good men in there, but I'm just saying that type of help that you have in the round you is very important. Those other points of view in the game, somebody seeing something else happening from your defence to your midfield, your attack to your kickouts.
Oh, definitely, Brendan. You need it. You can't have enough help, and whether it be training or match days, like, everybody has different opinion, and see, as long as you channel it right, it works perfect. Like, you know, when Dougie's been a big help all year for his knowledge of Donegal football, second to none, you know, and Martin Mealy's knowledge of SNC and fitness work is absolutely unbelievable. It's out of this world. His preparation's brilliant, you know. when we put it all together, it's a really good team we have, you know.
Brilliant. Tell me, just on the S&C, and funny, it was for us, I think it was a big thing I noticed with the likes of Dunlow when we played them in the final. And when I was checking, obviously you're doing homework on teams and that, they had a very solid couple of years of great S&C behind them. You know, I'm looking at the modern game, Daniel. The athletic side of things is way out in front in terms of, you know, footballers. You know, for me, that is by far number one. And I know, listen, skill and talent and all that are there, but certainly if you ask me what's the biggest pointer to the top players out there, you know, we have a couple of boys playing for us there, and they could be in the Olympics, I think. they're so you know what I mean, and they are the standout players then in the pitch side. Is that what you're seeing out there too? I mean, you can have an odd maybe skillful man in a certain place, but really if you don't have that real powerful element to your game, you're not going to be able to contribute the way, you know, the other players are.
Brendan, you look at Keelan McColgan, the way he's grown over the last 3-4 years, you know, up with the county setups, the S&C, Kevin Lynch, Jonathan Toy, like they put savage effort into their S&C programs, you know, and the power they have is something unreal, you know, and it's something that's come into the game now, and you have to go with it, you know, and it's really, really important. It's nearly more important what you do in the field now, because injury prevention's massive as well, and it's helped us massively this last 2 years, because Martin came back on board 2 years ago, and we had a plan to build the players up to a certain level, and we're reaping the rewards for it now at the minute.
Yes, indeed, you certainly are. Listen, you mentioned Keelan there. Obviously, Daniel himself, and you mentioned Kevin Lynch as well. They're both missing the last day in your victory over Congals. Before we get to them, that thing of going into Ulster, I suppose players so used to, you know, different teams, and you know, you come up against different sides, and you've basically played everywhere. What was that like, just against a different team now, Congals, and the different atmosphere that was at the game? Let's say you're missing two of your main men up front as well. Obviously, Jonathan Toy had a brilliant game for you. Really stepped up as well with 5 points.
Yeah. It was strange, Brendan, because it was a case of the unknown for the club altogether, because it's our first ever venture on the Ulster as a club, like, so we didn't know what to expect, so we just let it down to the lads, but we're going to go and enjoy this and take it one game at a time and see where it comes. And we've done our homework on Congals, and I went down and watched the Antrim final, and I learned a bit about them, but you only learn so much just watching one game. It was a horrible day, but it was something with a totally different level of intensity, a different vibe. You don't know none of the players. You know, normally about Donegal, you know every player's name, but you didn't know who the danger men were coming off the bench and one thing and another. And then without Keelan and Kevin, well, Keelan played 20 minutes and he came off. You're down to your stars. Like, you know, that forward line would be a loss in a senior championship game, never mind a junior championship game. So, but the boys managed as well. The boys stepped up to the plate like they've been doing all year. When somebody steps out, somebody steps in, and that's just the way we treat it. If somebody's missing, obviously it's a big loss, but it's an opportunity for somebody else to put their stake or claim for a place, you know.
And you know, just noticed there that obviously, as you say, the background work, the video analysis, and all that has gone so high up in terms of team preparation. Listen, I would honestly, St Eunan's this year, we would have been better prepared than the Donegal teams I would have played with.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Donegal. It's just the change in nature of preparation of teams has gone so high. Colliesland Armagh, Omagh this Saturday. Tell me what's your read into their team and the season that they're having?
Hey, they're having a very good year, Brendan. They're a very fit side. Like, we're lucky enough. Michael Cannon's a son who lives down Banbridge, and Michael actually watched the Armagh final. He actually phoned me to see that I want him to go and watch it. We could meet them down the line, so he says, I should go on, I can do no harm. And he took a few notes, and the notes come on fairly valuable then when we went to watch the quarter final of Ulster, because he kind of had a name to some of the faces, you know, and then we were looking out for players, and they're a very fit, resilient team. In the last two games, they've won in extra time, so it tells you a lot about their attitude. And they're your typical Armagh team. They never say die attitude, and they're against Dromora. They're down by 5 points, and they looked dead and buried, to be honest with you. But they came back out of the blue, and they just seen the game out. And their forward line, like young Keelan McQuaid on the side, very, very dangerous. And there's Eddie Trainer, he's on the side as well. Like, two very, very good players. You need to watch.
And tell me, obviously you played that first game. Was it Letterkenny? this one now you are going into, you know, the unknown in terms of heading out. I suppose it's about making it as normal as possible around your same match build up. You're on a brilliant run. You're confident. You know, you're going up to Healy Park. There's something very special about that, going out to another county ground to represent Donegal as well as Naomh Padraig, I guess he's keen.
Oh, it's brilliant, Brendan. It's a great feeling, and the buzz the boys have chatting about it. Like when we heard we were going to Healy Park, you go there as a youngster watching Donegal play, and to go in there now for my own personal level, managing your own home club and an Ulster semi-final it's something I'm really, really proud of. Like, and I tell the boys to be proud of where they're at. They're representing their club, but they're representing their county as well. And like as you said earlier, we're the only one flying the flag now at the minute, so it's a great feeling, you know, for a small club like ourselves.
Yeah, magic. And tell me about how are you thinking then about these injuries? Is it are you going to wait pre-game to call it? Is it kind of last minute kind of thing, or are you hoping the couple of lads will make the game?
We're waiting very last minute on Keelan and Kevin. Kevin would have played the last day, even though he had a foot in the boot. He had the gear with him, Brendan, believe it or not. That's the kind of young fella he is. He said to me beforehand, you know, if you need me the day, sir, I'll take this boot off. He's the boot off now. He got it off the Monday after the Congol's game. And with his touch and go, ideally you'd probably want another week, but we mightn't have the time to give him another week. And Keelan's not as bad as we first expected. He came off fairly early and he's feeling good within himself. So at the minute we'd be hopeful maybe getting 10 or 15 minutes out of him, but you never know this week, see how he gets through, you know.
Listen, I know it's very brave. I mean, so Kevin was playing with this injury throughout the season, was he?
He got a bang against Lufford. It was one of our own players actually collided with him. And he says it's just a pain in his foot, but the kind of young fella Kevin is, he's just a warrior, he's a workhorse, and he would never really tell you the truth. He kept saying to him, how are you? He said, that's grand, just a wee bit of a pain, you know. Yeah. And then just after the final, he told me, oh, Dan, I'm really, really sore, I need to get this looked at. And he actually was playing with 3 broken bones on the top of his foot. Jeez. So he got like he's some young fella to go through that. You know, he went through basically the whole championship with a few broken bones in his foot. Yeah,
because just looking at the two of them, they were that exciting that day. But with Lynch is just complete power inside. I mean, there's very few people in the county with that type of ability, and then Keelan's just his pace and his ability and all around the pitch, of course, great leader for you as well. So listen, we're hoping from the club's perspective and personally for the two boys, and of course for you, the man at the helm, that everything comes into place, and the next time I'm talking to you, you're getting ready for an Ulster final.
Here's hoping, Brendan.
Good man yourself.
Thanks very much, Brendan.
We're rooting for you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Cheers, now. Good luck.
Cheers, man. That's Daniel McCauley there, Muff. Naomh Padraig Muff heading for an Ulster semi-final with Collegeland Armagh in Omagh this Saturday. Get and support them. Be fantastic to see them in a final. After the break, we're going to speak with Downings manager Barney Curran.
The DL Debate with Sister Sarah's Letterkenny, serving food you'll love till 9 p.m. daily in Sarah's Kitchen. And there's free admission entertainment every weekend.
Make it a Christmas party to remember at Dunnes Stores, with 20% off a fantastic range of wine and champagne. And mix and match 3 for 2 on over 100 party food options. Whether you want crispy tempura prawns, elf bao buns, or a selection of indulgent cheeses. Whatever you want from your Christmas shop, you'll find it in our aisles, fridges and freezers. Plus, you can save again at the till with a 10 off 50 grocery voucher. Make Christmas for everyone with Dunnes Stores. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used in the next grocery shop of €50 or more. Voucher excludes alcohol. Please drink sensibly.
Be the first to test drive the brand new Nissan Qashqai at iMotors. Low finance rates and up to €4,000 available on trade-in boosters. iMotors are offering any customer who orders before December 23rd the chance to win €10,000. Visit our showroom today.
iMotors. Fearless generation.
At the Central Statistics Office, we're trusted to gather all sorts of information. So, we count lakes, stakes, and haulage intakes. We count wages, ages, and all of life's stages. We count loans, phones, still living at home. We count euros and cents and housing and rents. We count Mars, electric cars, and the price of a jar. Because this data informs important decisions on everything from economic activity to housing policy to what to call a new baby. And we can't do it without you. CSO, count on us. We count on you.
Hello, my name's Enda Walsh, and I'm a dairy farmer from Ormore, County Galway. In Ireland, we're always looking for a better cow. A cow that's healthier, happier and longer lived. A cow that gives us more milk of a higher quality with specific health benefits. A cow that has a lower carbon footprint. We're finding that better cow through our world-leading breeding programs based on years of science and research. I'm speaking on behalf of the National Dairy Council, everyone's dairy.
As the evenings get darker, it's important to stand out. If you're walking or cycling, always wear fluorescent or reflective clothing. Drivers, keep your dipped headlights on, even during the day, and only use dipped headlights in urban areas as the evenings get darker. Increasing your visibility helps keep us all safe. Be safe, be seen. A message from Donegal Road Safety Working Group.
The DL Debate with Sister Sarah's Letterkenny, serving food you'll love till 9 p.m. daily in Sarah's Kitchen. And there's free admission entertainment every weekend.
Yes, folks, welcome back to the DL Debate. I got to just mention, actually, the lip sync at Friday night. Dalton Loy's joined me in studio. Dalton, what's a crack, kid? All good, Brendan. Good to see you. Hold on, I'll give you a mic. Hey, it's bad manners. Is that him on that one there? Talk to me now. Testing 1 2 1 2
1 2 3. How are we getting on?
Yeah, the lip sync was on. Listen, fantastic money raise for Eunan's GA and their Kenny music and drama group. That's part of the reason I played past the point of rescue. Daughter, I need rescued. Me and you need to go away on a retreat somewhere. I think. Listen, the weekend there was a lot of football being played under 23 level, and the ladies platinum winners St Eunan's over Rua, and at the gold level, Ardra were victors over Curran and the men's under 21 championship. Gidor beat Ardra. Glen Swilly beat McCulls, and Dunlow beat Terman. We're at quarter final stage. In that, of course, Dunlow minor ladies are in Ulster semi final. Tony Boyle's team, the marching Donegal Dunlow ladies, they're on the up and up. They're in a semi final in 2 weeks' time. Now, in an Ulster junior final is the ladies of Downings, and I'm joined now by their manager, Barney. Curran. Barney, what's the crack, kid?
How are you, Davey? How's life?
I'm not too bad, my man. You're one of the busiest men I know. Hey, how you're involving Downings men, right? Coaching.
Yeah.
You're at ATU and you're doing Downings ladies. How does it work? Tell me, lad. How does it work?
You rob Peter to pay Paul a lot of the time. Davey. You rob Peter to pay Paul, and I suppose if you can half talk a good enough game, you can get away with it.
I have an image of you in the Downings pitch, maybe one team in one half and another, and you coach down there and you go up the other side and then you put another drill on. Or
Aye, well, we had a busy summer now. In fairness, me and Maxie, I was involved with the ladies.
and pieces about it, but you know, you've clubs from all over the county representing, young people representing. This was scoring a Naomh, and there's 2 down from Union's, Katie Coyle, one after she defended actually her title from last year. She's county champion. My own boy Matthew was in it as well, with a recitation, and fantastic day. Well done to everybody down there. Mary Coughlin was down there, our county chairman, and there was a whole Kieran Kelly and all the club stalwarts. Of course, they're buzzing still from Padraig Mogan's All-Star, himself and Oisin. Fantastic stuff. Dalton Malloy, you could be in score, could you? Bit of a performer.
How do you qualify for it?
You have to have a wee bit of talent.
Right, that'll be me out.
Is it? No. Dalton, do you know what? Thanks for coming up. Barry got detailed there earlier. We were just having a bit of a chat, just thought of what you made of getting into management this season and what you made of club football in Donegal. Did you enjoy it? I know obviously you won the championship, but what was your feeling getting into that side of things from your playing days?
I suppose it makes it a bit more enjoyable when you do win it, Brendan. But I must say, like from the start of the season, I really loved it from day one. Throughout the year, a lot of learning, you know, from learning off yourself, off Sharks and Barry, and then the players themselves, you know. So I just loved being involved. You know yourself, I moved away when I was 22 to England, and I only got back a couple of years ago, so I missed out on a lot of football, I felt, with St Eunan's, but just to be involved with the senior team again was really enjoyable this year.
Yeah, and is there aspirations there? Because I know initially the 2 boys came up to me and we talked about it, and me and you was good mates obviously, and you said you wanted to come on. I think that's very important for a club, you know, to promote and take people in, and because listen, the experience of that there is going to stand to you no matter what happens in the future. So is that something you want to keep doing, coaching?
I think so. Like, as I say, I really enjoyed it. And I suppose a couple of years ago that, you know, when the old injuries like start happening more and more so, and then you know you can't really play to the certain level that you would like to play anymore. And listen, I'm 36 now as well, but I always felt like I'd like to give it coaching a go anyway. So no better opportunity than to be involved with my own senior team. So listen, I'll try to continue on as much as I can and keep learning and see where it goes. Like, you know.
And what do you think of Donegal? Obviously, the rule change is going to come on, so there's no point in us giving off about zonal defending and all that. Now, there obviously still is going to be plenty of zonal defending with 12, but you know, 12 inside the 45. You know, but listen, Donegal club football in general, what did you make of it? League a bit funny, and then championship very squashed together. That was my feeling. You know? Yeah,
the league's a funny one. Like, you know, I know there's some days myself and yourself and maybe the other lads as well. It's like it's championship's just completely different competition, and you're just sort of trying to get through the league and try a few different things out with the players, with the team, you know, and it's towards the end of it, you know you're not going to be in the top 2. Maybe you sort of tails off a little bit, and all you want to do is just play championship football then. So it just gets a bit more serious then at that later stage of the season. And we had a few tough games, you know, when you're playing the likes of Glenties and Gidor and Kilcarry earlier on, like, you know, they were sort of tighter games, and I suppose, you know, it is very defensive in Donegal. That's the way it is, and it took a lot of effort to try sort of navigate our way through that. But I think we did all right. Hopefully now the rules open the game up a wee bit. I think that's what everybody wants in the country, not just Donegal, but, like, you know, we want to see a more free flowing game. So hopefully the rules do help with that. I'm sure they will in some aspect.
Yeah, and good fun picking teams and coming up to my house for the war room and
up in the Spy Lounge. That was they were enjoyable evenings.
Normally me and you don't be drinking cups of tea in the Spy Lounge. You know,
no,
it's not
the lights normally be turned off as well. but I know it's funny. We were up there scratching our head for hours some evenings trying to pick that team, which is just, you know, when we're blessed with a great talented squad. So but it was all enjoyable, you know.
Come up a wee bit short against Ergal Kieran. One man that knows everything about Ulster club football and all types of football is Michael McMullan of Gaelic Life. Hey, Michael, how is things, sir?
Not too bad. I was looking at your pictures on Facebook over the weekend, Brendan.
Oh, no.
Is Sharks and Barry going to join you in, in either the novelty act or the Keely dancing? A fancy dress?
That Keely would do. You know, the two lads are brilliant, like I have to say. No more. I was just chatting to Daniel earlier, McCauley. You know, the fact that the four of us was in there, it's great to put your heads together, you know, and I was saying to him about the Armagh scenario and how, you know, with the modern game, there's so much going on. You need as many eyes on it as you can, Michael, you know.
Yeah, and funny, I was listening to your show last week, and you must just have so many regrets about the tail of the end of that game. I thought you were going to win it.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to be said again. Sean Patton's performance of kicking was just on a different level.
Yes.
And I think it's when you're at a game and you're not taking notes as a journalist, you're just there to watch it. You can see it. Like the kick he kicked to Padraig Boyle that time at 10-all, you're thinking, Eunans are winning this. But I'm sure you're fed up hearing that, and you're probably wondering, how do we match up against maybe the likes of a Cargan or Clan Aaron if we get through? So,
yes.
And I suppose next year to be getting back there, getting out of Donegal, I suppose.
That's it. Listen, I said the boys after me, that's all you can do is dust yourself down and go again and just learn from it. I mean, that's sport. You know, I suppose with Eunans there, the last game to Glen that they lost by a point, that they probably had the game in their hands. And the disappointing thing is when you have the ball, you know, and you're in control of it late on, you know, that's I suppose the thing that gets you a wee bit, that we probably had control of the game. But listen, we couldn't get the 2 points up. I think that was probably one of the big problems in it. But, you know, you mentioned management there. There's plenty of stuff going on, Mal, around the place before we even get to Michael Murphy. But Rory Kavanagh's appointment up in Glen there, what's the feeling? Was there any word of this happening, and big shoes to fill?
Massive shoes to fill, to be honest. Like Malachy's come in 4 years, you know, in All Ireland and 2 Ulster titles and 3 Derry championships. And for listeners who don't really know the exact Glen story, like they were serious, you know, they were underachievers for so long. Then they're well catalogued group of young players who came through who still couldn't knock down the door, and Malachy was the key that they needed. But I did hear somebody mention Rory Kavanagh's name, but to be honest with you, it was just from the sheer fact they were working out who was available. And from Glen's point of view, they've sort of an inner circle where half their committee doesn't even know who's picking the manager. They've people who go away, they source somebody, they come back, the committee say yay or nay, and that's it. And I heard somebody from the club, I was chatting to somebody in the town over the weekend, and they were saying even the fact, like they're putting the clock back to that day in O'Donnell Park, like Kieran McFall was the person who nobody in Derry could tie down at number 6, and he put Aaron Deeney at 11, and you know, it was a curveball, but you know that's what they needed to do. And I think Kieran Tobin, if I'm right, put his 2 up with 10 minutes to go, and then Aaron might have got black carded or injured or something towards the end. But it wasn't until Michael Warnock, like I think was it a back pass that Sean Patton picked up or something.
He couldn't.
That's how fine the margins were. So they obviously liked what they saw. The fact that Cav went in and saw, look, here is what Glen have, and here's what we need to stop, and it nearly worked. So
that was a big factor, you think, Michael, in from that game?
I'm just guessing, but I'm sure that's not lost in the players, because you can imagine what you are talking about this week about Errigal and where you nearly did it. I'm sure the Glen boys were looking back after that game thinking, do you know what? A wee bit like Clenty's last year, we were so close to going out, and those type of games never really leave you, I don't think. You always remember those type of games, so they'll obviously think, well, Rory's the man, he's now on our side of the line, so if we're coming up against a team who have that type of strengths, that maybe that's what he'll be able to do for them. So, and obviously he's a high achiever in terms of a footballer. I think, was he get 6 championships with Eunans or something like that there?
Oh, listen, what a player, club and county. Dalton, Kavanagh didn't give you the shout. No, David Hurley's up with him. Like, you could be in there yet.
No, I'm
listen,
more of a blind man.
That's right. The roots they wouldn't allow you to do that.
No, definitely not.
Well, what if you give you 30 grand?
Aye, no bother.
There you go. Sorted. But a big commitment. I mean, we were in there this year with your own club. There's a certain, how do you put this? Obviously, it's your own club and everybody around it, and you know all the players, it's your own place. Training's not far from the house. Like, you imagine going up the road to that, you know, as Michael outlined there, the achievements the last few years are huge. So you have to kind of, after obviously the defeat to Newbridge, which surprised a lot of people, you have to kind of lift that team. Maybe in some ways that the defeat to Newbridge is a good thing, because they're not going to go through now an Ulster campaign. They're going to very much have time off to settle, and then Kavanagh can start fresh with them next year. So that final defeat, probably from Kavanagh's perspective, is a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, like, I suppose you're saying the commute's probably about an hour up there, an hour back, and you're up there for a couple of hours. So fair play to Rory and David, like, and wish them all the best, obviously. But I would say, like, with that comes the pressure. Like, it's probably one of the biggest jobs in club football at the minute, and you know, I'd say the minimum will be to win the county championship. That's what they'll be expecting of them. But listen, they're two good lads. I'm sure they'll have their work cut out. Like, you know, trying to you know, change the team up and the way they play and get their own ideas across. But good luck to them, hey.
Good luck to them, right. Gary Boyle is going to be announced as the new under-20 county manager as well. We want to wish him all the best. Gary, good man. Frank McGlynn actually stepping on the managers as well, the Donegal and the Donegal legend from Glenfin. He is taking over as home club as well. Plenty of managerial merry-go-rounds going on. Michael Murphy. Mal, what do you think of that news? Obviously everybody in Donegal, you know, absolutely buzzing, hearing that the big man's coming back. What's the feeling from your feet on the ground around Ulster about the news?
I suppose personally I'm surprised, because he had stepped away and he nearly made peace that he had an unbelievable career. But it sounds as if Jim's one of those people that's very difficult to say no to. And then obviously the much talked about chance to play with a different set of rules. Like, Brendan, imagine being a forward where you can tell the manager, look, I don't need to follow back anymore. Is that not a dream? Is that not a dream to have that sort of role where the rules stop you chasing back?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the role that
but
Jim
Mal,
sees for him.
Just on that, right? If the guy can come to the halfway line, you know, you don't have to go after a fella, because he'll start dictating the play from him. He'll be the spare man. So, you know, I know what you're saying. I think obviously it's going to be easier for get you up to the danger point of the team. But out of possession, are we going to find boys coming back around that halfway line, having to track, and when they break, you're still going to need decent legs to get back inside there, you know? I'm trying to visualise how it'll all play out.
I think Garcock, I'm only joking really about that. Like, I'm not saying that's his reasoning, but
you wouldn't want to leave him on there, either.
No,
You'd be brave to go.
That's the thing about it. And I remember that day in Clonus in 2022. As a dairyman, I was so happy to see him out around the middle, because I think back that ball that Lacey put into him against Mayo, like, he's a wrecking ball in there. Like, he's just tailor-made for it. And I suppose from Jim's point of view, what does he do up there? Because he's got Oshin, and, you know, Jamie Brennan's a different type of player. You know, who does he put up with him? You know, with Patrick McPearty. Like, it's a difficult thing, but maybe it leaves Jim that he's got more options for the three men inside now. But and again, another thing that's probably another significant factor is just the sheer standards that he will bring. You know, not that Jim needs somebody to bring standards to the table, but like, young boys coming into the panel, if there's anybody new coming in, you know, like it was Kieran Moore last year. What if there's a new Kieran Moore next year coming in? You know, he's seeing Murphy changing beside him, and he's automatically inspired. So that has to add to it as well. But I think for football now, I don't think defenders will be overly looking forward to the battle of the 1v1 that Murphy will obviously bring. But I think generally football people will like to see him back. But the only thing is, it's not going to be for a long time. You know, it's a short fix. But you know, he's obviously walked in with his eyes open. Like, he hasn't just decided one day, look, I'm going to go back. He's obviously thought about it.
Do you know what I think it might have been? I think that he'd committed to, you know, his bit of media work and that, and what he was doing. And I think that he didn't want to renege on that. So I think probably, if I was him now, and I was sitting watching that Galway game, you know, a lot of people have pointed to the fact, you know, the late free, and then that we didn't have the impact from the bench. I'd say he's sitting going, you know, I could have had us in the final, maybe another All-Ireland. And for somebody like him that's heart and soul, Dalton, you know what I mean? Like, it must have really, of all the games, I'd say it killed him a wee bit watching Ulster, but he had make his decision. But I think in that semi-final, he knew, I'm sitting up here, commentating or doing pundit in this game, I could be out there and I could make a difference. That must be a wild thing then to make peace with. So I'd say he needed time probably to pull away from those media gigs to say, you know, and I'm not saying he's not worried about that, but I think Michael Typham he probably committed to something and it was part of it, right? That he was retired and that was it. But I think that game, I think it was the Galway game, probably was like thinking, "Here, I got to give us another shot."
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and we were in the game. We're not that far away from making an All-Ireland final. You know, he's obviously going to be a handful for any defence. You know, when he gets back there, and I think it'll help the other forwards around him as well, especially Oisín Gallen. Like, if you think about any team that Donegal match up with, they're the best defender is going to be on Oisín Gallen. Now they might have to move that to Murphy, you know. So I think it's going to help Oisín's game as well, hopefully. And he's just a great lift for all them lads. Like, I'm sure all them lads up there will idolise him, and you know, he's a real leader. So, but it's a great move by him. Like, he joined the committee to change the rules and he suit himself. And then he came out of retirement again. So it's a boss move. If ever
The old cute whore thing. Other counties would never really be put our way, but Mal, was that a masterstroke?
He put Donald Trump in the second place that day.
Listen, if it was some movement, listen, it's just so hard, because if this was just Murphy going into a normal season, you'd be trying to think, where's his role, what's he going to do, until we see how these games go, particularly when a team needs to win a match, how they play out the match or what way each team tactically sets up. Will not really, because a lot of that's going to dictate kind of Murphy's impact on it, where he's played, what way he's played, the timing of that playing. So there's so many questions there. But as you said, Mal, there's so many other aspects to having him back in terms of, as you were saying there, his overall kind of nearly aura on the team, that he's there. Listen, he's the go-to man for years, and it was a big loss to the team when he left. So to have him back there in some capacity, and I suppose for him himself, he had to make peace with even that capacity role, because, you know, when he left initially, he was the man and that was it. Now he's probably going to have to taper his role somehow, but again, he must be thinking that the team is there, that they're very close to something special, and he wants to finish it on that note.
Well, they are very close. Like, I did fancy is to beat Galway last year, and like, it was even the fine margin was that Kieran Thompson touched the ball on the ground, and a few seconds later Rob Finnerty did the same, only he had his arm underneath it, and that was maybe the difference in 2 frees that could have took Donegal to the big Sunday. That's how close it was. And maybe Murphy's looking at that and thinking, well, Armagh are a team that there's Lee Geezer even said after the final whistle, it'll be about 5 or 6 teams would think they could beat us next year. So it is really, really open, and he's maybe thinking, why not? And if he is that extra ingredient, and like we did talk about the 3 up, Brendan, but even if it's the 2-point arc, like he's a brilliant kicker of the ball, and if, for example, just throw this out here, if he is the man that's in the 2-point arc, teams are maybe going to double up on a Michael Murphy out there, and then Oisín Gallen's maybe inside 1-on-1, and as you say, the second best defender, then maybe he gets a goal chance. So that's the exciting bit that I see about the rules, to be honest. You know, what way the 2-point versus leaving men inside works. I'm glad they got rid of the 4 points for a goal, because I think that would have tempted managers into complete shutdown, with a capital C. This way, as I said, Murphy might be double marked as a 2-point man out the field, and it might just change the way teams go to defend against Donegal.
I must actually, I was in the middle of, I don't know where I was going at the time, but I didn't see them Railway Cup games, but Tony Scullion wants me to go on some webinar with him and Aaron Curran to talk about these rules, and I haven't seen them. So I was on them today. I said, going to email me them games to I get a look at it, because I'm just trying to get my head around it. But for me, really, I just thought, leave 4 up, and I would have scrapped the rest of the rules, marks a whole lot of it. I would have kept the keeper inside his own 45. And that would have been my 2 rules. I'd be happy enough for that. I think 4 up is enough that you're going to have to kick it to them, you know, and it's going to cause enough problems. And that they would have been 2 rule changes. I'd be happy enough for that.
Yeah, I don't even understand why they would change the scoring. I don't think there's a need for that either.
140 years of point and 3. You know, I just think it could, like, a team's a point up and somebody gets a free just outside the arc or whatever. I don't know.
No, I'm not sure, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen them games either. But the other thing about it is, Brendan, like, them Railway Cup games, they're very open in a way. If you didn't have them rules, that, like, they're guaranteed to be free flowing, to be high scores in a way. You know, it's the way. So I don't know, hopefully there's a trial period where there's more competitive games and get a proper idea if they are going to work or not and make a difference.
Yeah, magic. Mal, listen, we're running down time. Mal, Aaron Gale, Scottstown was postponed to be playing this week. Kilcoo coming through after a wee bit of a tussle with Crusher Lough, Ergal Kieran. Far too much for Carrigan. I think you were at the Clan Aaron Newbridge match as well.
I was at it. Very, very even.
Yeah.
And funny, you're just talking about rules. I've been at 5 or 6 games in the past 2 weeks where there was no rule changes needed, to be honest. Including your own game gets slated by a few people, but I thought it was end to end. Like the energy levels in that second half, it was like watching the game of tennis, up and down, with Patton as the conductor. But the game yesterday was excellent, and it came down to, it was 12 points all, and Clan Aaron got a point on the breakaway to put 2 in it, and that was Shinné at that point. But I think anybody left in the competition, I don't know enough about Aaron Gales, but they were really tough test against Scottstown. But if Scottstown come through that as their favourite to do, any of those 4 teams could really win it. But it would be a big ask for Aaron Gales after 43 years away from that sort of scene. So, but great competition in Ulster.
Conor Lavery coming on, the Down manager, and was involved heavily in that late couple of scores. They got a couple of points late on to beat Crusher Lough as well. They definitely put it up to them at Park Gessler. Well,
they did, and they'll have regrets too. I was only watching this one in fits and starts. I didn't sit down and watch it properly, but Crusher Lough had a chance near the end. Like, it's a wee bit like your game with Errigal. It's always decided in the fine moments at the end. James Smith snatched at a shot when they were 1 down, whenever a more experienced team might have just tried to work the score, like they did with Ben McDonald, where you had doubled up on the Canavans and you've got somebody else, whereas Crusher Lough just maybe weren't streetways enough. And that's probably the disappointing factor, where when you get out of your county every 3 or 4 years, you don't have that sort of bank of playing those type of games. Yeah. And that's where you'll probably want to get out of Donegal next year, where you can finish what you sort of started. But that's the difficult thing, is you just don't know. And Crusher Lough are in that same sort of boat.
Is that a fair point, though? Did you think that, and I know we were talking about before the game, that the only thing you can look really, some of the boys obviously were involved in that Naomh game way back, was it 14, where they lost in extra time. Then you have Glen. So if you're involved in that, you've got to take experience from it, like Mal's saying there. And it's no coincidence that Daniel McCateer come up with the goods later on, because they're controlled in those plays. And does it in some way, the ease of which Ergal beat Carrigan, then that you kind of thinking, how close things are at that level?
I know. You knew it was going to be tight anyway, either way, with that Ergal game. And it was probably going to come down to, a kick of a ball, which it was. Listen, it's a long way back to get back there. In Ulster, all you want is another crack at Ulster, but you have to navigate your way through Donegal again, which isn't easy. But hopefully, that group of lads are back there soon enough, and I think experience does help. Like we showed great resilience this year. We went down to the wire a couple of times and we came through it. So going into injury time, going to point up, I thought we were there, but unfortunately it didn't go that way. But all you can do is learn from it. We'll have to learn from it. The 4 of us will be sitting down again, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. And
will we?
We will, yeah. And
we have the exclusive here in Ireland.
Spy Lounge again. But anyway, you have to learn.
You just
from
want to come up to Spy Lounge. Listen, lads, we're down to the last couple of seconds. Mal, give us your hot tip then. Are you going to go with the old safety here in Ulster, or have you a sneak for somebody else? It's kind of very hard to call.
I think any of them can win it, to be honest. I was thinking about this whenever you said we were talking about the Ulster club. I think anybody really. You could say the safe old bet of Kilcoo because they've been there, but yes. I believe anybody can win it.
Yes. Right, first class. Well, listen, Mal, we'll be keeping tabs on that as the weeks go on now in this fascinating Ulster Championship, Ulster Club Championship, as ever. Mal McMullan of Gaelic Life, thanks for joining us this evening. Dalton Malloy, up to Spy Lounge now for a cup of tea.
No bother.
Joe Dex, thanks so much for the position. Everybody stay tuned for the excellent Monday night sessions coming up. They'll get things going. Next week we'll be talking more Ulster Club. We'll also have a couple of wee score performances for you. I'll speak to you all then.